On this episode of Kuryakyn Garage, we will be showing you how to install the Kuryakyn heated Iso-Grips for electronic and dual cable throttles. The heated Iso-Grips share the same design as our original Iso-Grips, a cast aluminum housing with soft, durable premium rubber inserts that deliver vibration dampening and grip. The heated Iso-Grips have 5 heat settings that are controlled by an integrated switch on the clutch side grip. There is also an automatic low battery shutoff to avoid draining the battery. Another cool feature about the heated Iso-Grips is that you don't need glue for the clutch side grip, so you can easily install or remove them if you change handlebars or bikes. Our popular throttle bosses, stiletto end caps, and bar end weights are all compatible with the heated Iso-Grips as well. First, we will work on this Heritage Softail with an electronic throttle. On the clutch side, remove the hardware from the top and bottom of the switch housing. You may need to loosen the clutch control clamp in order to allow the switch housing halves to separate enough to remove the grip. Now go ahead and remove the grip. Use a razor and sandpaper to remove any glue or rubber residue and wipe off the exposed handlebar. With the wider side of the grip's flange positioned on the bottom, slide the grip onto the handlebar. Reassemble the switch housing halves and retighten the clutch control clamp. Moving to the throttle side, just like the clutch side, remove the hardware from the top and bottom of the switch housing. You may need to loosen the brake control clamp to allow the switch housing halves to separate enough to remove the grip. Go ahead and slide the grip off the handlebar. Next, slide the new grip assembly onto the handlebar and rotate it to match the clutch side grip. Once you have it perfect, reassemble the switch housing halves and retighten the brake control clamp. Check for proper throttle operation. For dual cable throttles, start by loosening the jam nuts on the throttle cables and remove the tension on the cables. Next, remove the hardware from the top and bottom of the switch housings. You may need to loosen the brake control clamp to allow the switch housing halves to separate enough to remove the grip. If you remove the brake, secure it out of the way. Now remove the cable ends from the throttle, being careful not to lose the brass ferrules. Once that is complete, remove the old grip and slide the new one into place. Reattach the brass ferrules to the cable and slide them into place on the throttle. Reassemble the switch housing halves and retighten the brake control clamp. Finally, adjust your throttle cables and tighten the jam nuts. Refer to your service manual for proper tightening procedures and settings. Once the new hand grips are installed, move to the wiring. Route the wires from the grips to where you decided to put the main wire harness. We chose to follow the clutch cable and the brake line for this application. Be sure to leave enough slack on the throttle side so that it can rotate freely. Plug both grips into the harness. How you route the wires is up to you, but you will need to plug into a switch power wire and find a location nearby to install the ground. In this case, we are running the wires under the gas tank back to the seat. Once the wires are attached, turn on the bike to make sure that the heated Iso-Grips are working properly and cycle them through the different heat settings. Then secure the wires so they will not be pinched or melted, and you are all set to have toasty warm hands.